A big new Assassin's Creed Shadows update is out now. It adds brand new parkour moves, a new repeatable activity that sadly is a bit of a letdown, over the top new Helix items, a gold glitch that will soon be removed, might already be by the time you watch this, and way more. So let's start with those corrupted castles. You might not immediately see them after booting up the game once the update is installed. If that's the case, simply wait for a season change and then they will appear. So how it works is that after reaching level 30, up to 5 completed castles can become corrupted, meaning that the Samurai Die Show will respawn with what Ubisoft describes as heightened aggression and altered patterns. But in practice, you don't really notice this. It seems that they just up the frequency of familiar moves like throwing more shurikens or rolling around more often. One of them summoned a ton of soldiers, which was actually quite challenging, but apart from that, these corrupted Die Show are still very manageable even without enhancing your gear or running a specific build. And I was playing on the Nightmare difficulty here. So after defeating all the new Die Show, you can open a cool looking chest that rewards you with XP, gold and purple gear based on how many Die Show were in the castle. But this is the same purple gear you can already find elsewhere in the game. It has no special Animus look or unique perks, so I was wrong. I thought the Animus themed rewards they were talking about in the roadmap was linked to this activity. I thought Simon talked about it in the feedback session I participated in. So sorry about that. I will better double check next time if I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, that does mean that this new activity is kinda useless because there are way faster and better ways to get gold, XP and purple gear, especially in New Game Plus. Luckily, the parkour editions are really cool though. Totally turn on the new parkour settings so you have way more freedom and can launch yourself from any height with a new stylish animation, or when needed you can break your fall of course with the Egan roll skill and its upgrade. Now you have to be more careful with Yasuke as he does not have a way to negate fall damage, but he can still perform all the parkour enhancements they added. This advanced parkour setting is especially great for the new directional catch ledge mechanic. When you jump down, use the parkour up button, so X on PlayStation or A on Xbox, and tilt the stick towards the ledge you want to grab. This will cause you then to hold on to it. And you have full control. When you fall down, you can choose which ledge to hold on to, which is cool to see return. And another thing is, normally when doing a side eject you would gain height, using it to jump higher up for example. But now with the advanced parkour turned on, you can also do a side eject down, meaning you actually go lower and can for example land directly on the ground. But the biggest addition in my opinion that really enables new possibilities for Shadows is being able to do a vertical ledge grab from beams, lanterns and ropes. And you can do this without the advanced parkour setting on. So they can immediately jump to reach a roof and climb up. This was not possible before. You can now also press X or A while on these non-standing objects to perform a jump, letting you move more seamlessly across rooftops or create small new pathways. So yeah, totally great new additions, but, and this also became super clear while recording footage for this video, you will just not really use this stuff a lot in regular gameplay. You really have to go out of your way to make use of these parkour features, because Shadows' world is just not designed around them. Let's hope that's different in future games. I'll of course keep you posted here on everything Assassin's Creed, so make sure to subscribe and leave a like, that would really help me out. Before I go over more changes and fixes that are included with this update, let's talk about some of the new items they added, starting with the new golden weapons. So we already had the golden katanas for finishing your first New Game Plus run, but now there are new golden weapons locked behind specific activities. So the Tento bow, Kusarigama and Naginata are not that hard to get, but reaching level 100 for the Kanabo and level 13 with the Hideout for the Teppo in particular takes quite a while. It once again cost Mon to activate the new perks. I in particular love the Golden Death Kusarigama that gives your abilities no cooldown in exchange for 150 Mon on activation. So it will be fun to test that one out. Thanks to Drizzy for sharing these perks on Reddit, by the way. Now there are some mixed reports. Some players received these items right when booting up their New Game Plus run, even though they did not complete the activities in that playthrough, but in a playthrough before that. So let me know if you got the golden items after meeting the requirements in the comments down below. And yes, you already saw them teased earlier in the video. There are new Helix items, including the pretty cool looking Far Future gear. I in particular love the chest for Yasuke, while Naue gets a full cyborg ninja look. that also looks great in combination with other headgear. But there are also new Kitsune weapons, so I quickly want to highlight the most interesting ones so you can keep an eye on the exchange when they get added. The new katana for Naue sends out a projectile in front of you that phases through enemies and deals quite a bit of damage. It's especially good for clearing out the regular enemies. Yasuke's new mask is awesome too. It gives you extra damage when charging up your posture attack. You will see his hands glow and hear an audio cue before unleashing the attack. For the Kitsune weapons, the new Tento is amazing because it makes you invisible after an assassination with a 30-second cooldown. It's kinda overpowered in stealth, and yes, it even works with the rush assassination. The bow for Yasuke is great too, with the marksman shot. If you land a headshot and then quickly fire again, Foxfire spirits will emerge from the enemy and deal damage to nearby targets. And the range for this is pretty insane. They will always find a nearby enemy. And there's now a Helix bow staff for Naue. Normally you only unlock this weapon type after finishing the main story through a free quest or DLC, but now you can use it way earlier, which is kinda wild. So yeah, all these items are definitely worth getting if they ever show up in the exchange. And speaking of which, Ubisoft made some changes to how the Animus hub system works. For one, I don't think this was the case before, but they are already teasing the next project. So this is likely where those Animus teams rewards will appear. And where you could first view the weekly missions directly from the projects tab, you now have to enter a specific project to see the rewards, and then from there you can access the missions. These weekly missions, which reset twice a week, first gave 1100 XP, but now actually give 2200 XP, so that's pretty nice. However, they also nerfed the system significantly. At the end of a project, you reach an infinite key level, and where it used to be that every 2000 data fragments, the currency you also earn from these weekly missions, you would get 400 keys to spend in the exchange, that has now been cut down to 100. So we only get 25% of the reward for putting in the same amount of time. Honestly, I really think it's not worth it anymore, even with the XP increase. Just get the keys from the projects themselves. Once you've done them all, just wait for the next project that will give you way more keys for way less time. They really botched this system. You cannot make changes like this during the post-launch that makes your time less valuable. It's another weird decision in this update, and I want to dive a bit deeper into this in a future video on JorRaptor. And there are more changes and fixes with this update. For one, the Sakura Fox mount first sounded like this. Yeah, we discovered it during stream as well. It first had hoof sounds from the horse mounts, but now they fixed that. When fast traveling to the Hangu Kagureka, you would first appear in front of the safe house, but now after the patch you spawn inside, like it's meant to be. They do note that the Teppa will no longer appear on the character's back during cutscenes, but for us it still happens, so not sure what they mean there. We also got fixes for pets in your hideout. They do work, so the dog from the Throne to the Dogs story mission, which you start over here on the map, could sometimes not be available to put in your hideout after the quest. Well, now you can. And with the recent update, they added the cat from YouTuber Ropotopoulos, wearing an assassin outfit that you can get over here on the map by entering the church and heading to the second floor. It was first only available if you owned the Claws of Awaji DLC, but now everyone can pet the cat and unlock her for their hideout. And speaking of hideout, we got some big changes for that as well. Demolishing certain hideout buildings will now actually give you the full cost of all the levels back. Like, this is wild. Before the update, if I destroyed the Nendo, for example, I would get way less than now after the patch. So I hope you did not destroy that building earlier, because then you lost quite a few resources. Now, other buildings I tested still give the same amount back before and after the update. They also buffed the final upgrade for the stable. It first gave a 10% chance to get gold from stockpiles, but now it's 30%. Also, the price of gold you can buy at the secret vendors has been reduced by 50%. You can of course find these vendors randomly in the mainland, or Skata, link to his channel in the video description, found one on Awaji Island as well over here on the map. At least it's there during autumn. So yeah, in my case, the price for gold was 12,000 before the update, and now it's 6,000. I would argue that it's still not worth the money, because especially in New Game Plus you can gold very easily. but still a noteworthy change. And by the way, the meta right now is to use gold to upgrade your gear. With the bigger the level jump, the better, and then save your resources for that enhanced feature you unlock by upgrading the Forge to the max rank. We got some Forge fixes as well with this update. When booting up the game, you will now see a pop-up for an engraving if you have killed the betrayer targets. Before, no one could unlock the plus 6% affliction buildup when hitting multiple enemies engraving for the chest, but now it should be unlocked. Both the headpiece of Ashen and the Dragon's Roar light armor from the deluxe edition first did not get the proper increases when using the enhanced feature. That has now been fixed. They also note that the Forge will now display improvements correctly on the perks enhanced for items level 5 and 9. I did not notice much of a change for the items I tested though, but yeah, overall the system should now work better than before. There was an issue with the Slash of Sprague Naginata for Yasuke. You could not upgrade it past level 60, but now after the patch you can. That weapon was of course a collab with the beer brand, but the patch notes also mentioned the crowd pleaser Cannabo, which is not in the game. It should be this purple Cannabo that has been in the game files since launch, with Naue having a purple katana. So maybe these will be added later on. Before you could put the 15% damage per non-legendary gear equipped perk on a purple trinket and then still get the benefit, they have now fixed that. And lastly, when a season changes, the contracts will now reset in both Awaji and the mainland. And yeah, there is a gold glitch at the time of this recording that lets you get an unlimited amount of that resource, but it doesn't work for everyone. I made a video on JorRaptor that you can watch by clicking on the screen, and on that channel I will dive deeper into my thoughts regarding this update. Of course, curious to hear your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe, leave a like, and I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.